Hello and a very warm welcome to Middle East Matters. The top stories across the region this week. Sorry for the stalemate. Syrian negotiations end without any agreement. And the main opposition group, the Free Syrian Army, fires its leader. Not without my sister. A Frenchman goes in search of his 15-year-old sibling who went to the frontline in Syria, saying she's happier there than in France. And the luxury locomotive in Dubai. We take a trip on a tram that offers a gold class and leather seats. Well, we start this edition with one Frenchman's frantic search for his sister in Syria. From the south of France, Fouad's 15-year-old sibling Nora left to take part in the war, much to the bewilderment of her family. Fouad decided to follow her, determined to bring her home from the frontline.
This trip is Fouad's last chance. He's heading to Syria to find his 15-year-old sister, Nora, a normal teenager, who one day decided to run away to the war-torn country.
I'm scared, I'm worried for her. Is she healthy? Is she injured? Will someone try to take advantage of her weakness? I can't leave her there, she's my sister. I'm not giving up.
Her family didn't notice Nora had changed. It all happened online. In a matter of weeks, she became a completely different person. In this post, the caption reads, "Yes, kill in the name of Allah." This picture of Nora fully veiled is the last proof of life her brother has received.
She was manipulated, and they're very good at that. To change her like that, they must be really good.
Since she left for Syria, Fouad and Nora have been communicating. She once wrote, "Don't forget where I am. There's no going back. I'll be moving tomorrow. Tell the parents not to worry. Tell them I'm fine." Fouad recently found out Nora was going to be married off to a man in Syria. That's when he decided to find her by following her trail from their hometown of Marseille to Hatay in southeast Turkey, just 40 kilometers from the Syrian border. His goal was to cross over, but with no plans or contacts, it seemed like a very distant possibility.
Right there, just behind the fields. That's the first Syrian village.
How does it feel standing here, just a few hundred meters away?
I just want to go there.
So close, yet so far. At the Bab al-Hawa border crossing, the Turkish guards have strict instructions.
French? Yes, I know, but only Syrian peoples, citizens.
It would cost him about $100 to be smuggled across the border, but Fouad doesn't trust anyone. He has very little money, speaks only basic Arabic, and most of all, he's on his own. Everyone he meets tells him to give up.
Don't go in like this. It's too dangerous. Try to contact her first.
But I can't. It's impossible.
Even if you can manage to get in, where will you look for her? It's a big country. It's like finding a needle in a haystack.
For 2 days and 2 nights, he tries contacting his sister to no avail. But as Fouad starts losing hope, he gets his first lead from a Frenchman claiming to be an Islamist militant fighting in Syria.
I'm one of the men in charge of the French group here. I just wanted to make some things clear. I promise your sister is safe. I also promise she came here of her own free will. She wasn't manipulated, and she isn't being kept here by force. Many people came and then wanted to leave. You've heard of the 2 boys from Toulouse, haven't you?
Yes, I have.
They came here and then they said they wanted to go back, so I let them leave. If tomorrow your sister tells me she wants to go home, she'll be able to leave. No one is held prisoner here. I'm not forcing her to stay, but I won't let you force her to leave either. You understand? If she wants to stay, I'll stand between the 2 of you.
I understand.
Fouad doesn't know whether to believe that his sister is really free to make her own decisions. After 3 days of failed attempts, he finally hears her voice.
In France, I was always sad. I wasn't feeling well and no one noticed.
How are we supposed to notice? You never said anything.
You made me go to school with these infidels.
But school is important.
Aren't you glad to see me happy?
How do we know you're happy if you're not with us?
Aren't you glad to see me happy on this earth? You know I don't like France.
I want you to be safe. I don't want anything bad to happen to you.
Don't worry, I'm in a safe zone. No one can come in, no one can leave. We even practiced shooting. We went out in a field and learned to shoot.
Why do you need to learn to shoot? You're not going to fight, are you?
No, not yet. I can't.
What do you mean, not yet?
Nothing. What do you want me to do?
There's no not yet. You don't fight at all.
No, I won't fight.
After spending several minutes on the phone, he still can't tell whether his sister was speaking freely or not.
She says she's happy to be there. That's what they all say. They'll all say they're happy and have a great life, but who knows if it's true?
Fouad had vowed to return to France with his sister. Instead, he leaves with a broken heart without even seeing her. Like Nora, about 600 French citizens have gone to Syria, including 6 minors. At least 21 have been killed so far.
Trying out a small-scale truce, Syria's army and rebels have agreed to stop the fighting in some areas of Damascus. That's according to one press agency visiting the region with regime officials. The lull in violence has allowed food into residential areas caught in the conflict. It's not much, but the Geneva II round of talks achieved a little more. A simple sorry was all that the UN's chief negotiator could say. Weeks gone by and still words were not forthcoming from either side at the Syrian talks. Catherine Viette looks at where it all went wrong.
Lakhdar Brahimi looking annoyed and resigned. Many consider Geneva II to have failed in its goals, a view shared by the UN's chief negotiator, who was quick to assume part of the blame.
I'm very, very sorry, and I apologize to the Syrian people. That their hopes, which were very, very high that something will happen here.
Talks in 2012 produced the Geneva Communique, a proposed roadmap to peace that was never followed. And Geneva II hasn't fared much better. The main sticking point, the agenda. The regime wanted to talk about combating terrorism, while the opposition wanted to discuss the departure of President Bashar al-Assad and the formation of a transitional government. Each side now blames the other for the conference's failure.
Really, there is nothing positive we can take. You know, we have been disappointed completely, but not only by the regime, but other sponsors so far, particularly the Russians.
Everybody is trying his best to undermine the whole process. Either Israel or, unfortunately, the American administration or even the sponsors of the so-called coalition and the oppositions.
Washington and its European allies have expressed their disappointment and displeasure. The West is convinced Damascus has no intention of negotiating in good faith.
The regime stonewalled. They did nothing except continue to drop barrel bombs on their own people and continue to destroy their own country. And I regret to say they are doing so with increased support from Iran, from Hezbollah, and from Russia.
But the opposition is not without its faults. With many members living in exile, it's been accused of being disconnected from the realities on the ground and not being representative of all the groups fighting in Syria.
This opposition is deeply divided. I'm not sure where it's going because on the ground they're barely visible and pushed to the side by the jihadists, who really are fighting in the field. Because of all this, the opposition didn't have much to bring to the table at Geneva II.
A lack of authority and results. It's the reason why the Free Syrian Army fired its leader, Salim Idris, on Sunday. With the regime and the opposition at loggerheads, the future of any new talks is now in question. No date has yet been set for more meetings.
Well, division over the Syrian conflict has been echoed in neighbouring Lebanon. After a 10-month deadlock, Beirut has finally formed a new government. It will be led by Prime Minister Thaman Salam. A caretaker cabinet had been in place since March after a dispute between two main political parties over which side to support in Syria. Leave before it's too late. Such is the warning from Egyptian militants to tourists. The radical Islamist Ansar Bait Makday's group threatened to attack any holidaymaker there after February 20th. The same group claimed responsibility for a suicide bombing on 2 tourist buses at the weekend in the Sinai Peninsula. Well, changing track now, we're going to take a tour on a tram with a difference. With leather seats and a gold class for its VIP commuters, Dubai is putting a luxury locomotive online. The tram is currently being tested with the official launch set for November.
At the feet of Dubai's towering skyline, French expertise is gaining ground. In 9 months, the city will have its very own tramway, all the way from France. As nothing's done in Dubai without a large dose of luxury, engineers have had to keep up appearances.
This tram is easily recognised by everyone because its nose is very distinctive and has a diamond-like shape to it.
Inside too, this is no regular tram. There are 3 classes, one reserved for women and children, and a world first, gold class, reserved for the richest passengers in limousine quality.
Wooden armrests, leather document holders.
The €750 million building works have taken on colossal proportions. 5,000 workers, 10 kilometres of tracks, and 11 air-conditioned stations. Everything must be built to withstand 50-degree temperatures. Back in France, in the suburbs of La Rochelle, another train's ready to set off for Dubai. 1,300 people work at this site, and the factory is fully booked in orders for the next year. But to preserve jobs in France, the company must bring in new contracts, faced with stiff competition from German giant Siemens. Dubai's the shining window display, geared at tempting rich neighbours like Qatar or Abu Dhabi to build their own French tramway.
Who knew public transport could be so posh? Well, it's on that high-speed note that we're going to have to end this week's show. Don't forget, you can always watch these reports or catch up with the latest news from the region online at our website france24.com. Take care and see you again for more Middle East Matters.